Coming up on today's show, should the Seattle Seahawks consider a trade for Bryce Young after he just got benched by the Carolina Panthers? We will discuss that possibility coming up in just a matter of moments. Also, Tyre Phillips, should the Seahawks sign him in free agency? We have a new rumor to get to from Bleacher Report. We'll react to it, share our thoughts coming up in just a little while from right now. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. I know it's Tuesday, but I'm still not over that Seahawks win against the Patriots on Sunday. Boy, wasn't that a great time. If you loved that win over the Patriots, do your part. Like the video. Let's show the Seahawks some love for that win. A 2-0 start. Keep the momentum going, folks. Like the video, and we'll get going here with today's show. So a lot of you have already asked me about the idea of trading for Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers. And I'll be honest, when it was first presented to me, I was like, I don't know. It's a no for me. I'm going to tell you that right now. And then I was kind of reading things further, and Phil Golds, the SB Nation site that covers the Seahawks, they also brought up the idea as well about trading for Bryce Young, who has had his struggles, if we're going to be honest with you. Not a great start to his career for the former number one overall pick out of Alabama. This is what Phil Golds had to say, Mookie Alexander breaking it down. Bryce Young's height, he's shorter than Russell Wilson, has been subject to much debate given the success of Wilson and to a much lesser extent Kyler Murray. Young is doing jump passes on short throws. I don't see how his height isn't a serious issue when he doesn't have the arm strength of Wilson or Murray, Kyler's speed, or the athleticism of either. It just might be a recalibration and understanding of why successful shorter quarterbacks have historically been outliers in the NFL. And the way I look at it, folks, you may remember the name Dave Canales, the longtime Seahawks assistant coach, who's now the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. And Canales is largely credited with rejuvenating Geno Smith's career with the job that he did here in Seattle working with Geno. Then he goes to Tampa as the OC this past season working with Baker Mayfield. And Baker had a fantastic season, and we saw Baker play arguably the best football we've ever seen from him, that Canales did a really good job bringing both those quarterbacks back to life. And here he is after 2 games, and he said, look, I can't do it with this guy. Enough's enough. And I think Seahawks fans, we can sit here and say to ourselves, if Dave Canales can't fix Bryce Young, then he probably shouldn't be a problem the Seahawks take on. And the height thing, I don't think can be overlooked. I think that's a major concern for the points that Mookie Alexander or Phil Golds brought up. Bryce Young, a lot of talent, no question about it, winning the Heisman Trophy at Alabama. He was one of the best college quarterbacks I can recall in recent memory. He was fantastic there with the Crimson Tide. But granted, he had about everything you could want and then some on those Alabama teams when you talk about the receivers he played with, the running backs, the offensive line. Everything was great. And you compare that to the situation in Carolina where the offensive line sucks. He has no good running backs, no good receivers. He's been set up to fail, but it still has not gone great. I think if you're even a Panthers fan, even with all the issues that are there, you ought to expect more from a number one overall pick than a career completion percentage of 59%, 3,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, 13 picks, and so far to start the year, no touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The trade value is interesting. I've heard everything from a ceiling of a third-round pick to a floor of a sixth-round pick. So that remains kind of unknown. It's all over the place of what you'd have to give up for Bryce Young. And when you look at the Seahawks position, all right, sure, they're still trying to find their long-term solution at the quarterback spot. We all know that Geno's a stopgap guy, and that's okay. That's not a knock on Geno, but he is in his mid-30s now and all that. But you think about it, they're in a pretty good situation with Geno and Sam Howell for this year. And you don't want to take away an active spot on the roster for a guy like Bryce Young who hasn't shown you anything. Well, Sam Howell, to his credit in the preseason, showed he's more than capable of getting the job done as the backup if he needs to step in for Geno Smith. So I'm not looking to get rid of Sam Howell just to bring in Bryce Young. If there was an injury, then by all means, pick up the phone and go get Bryce Young. But the Seahawks are healthy at the quarterback spot. They have two guys that have looked good to this point. I'm not considering this at this point in time. If something changes, then we can have the discussion. If Bryce Young's still out there, then by all means, maybe you do that. But at least for now, I'm not looking to make a trade for Bryce Young. Should the Seahawks trade for Bryce Young? What do you guys think? Two options here. Type T for trade, P for pass. Way in the comment section. Let us know. We will be live right here on Seahawks Today for the Seahawks-Dolphins game coming up this Sunday here on the channel. Our coverage will begin at 2 o'clock Central Time, 3 Eastern, 1 Mountain, 12 Pacific. I think I've covered every time zone. You get the idea. An hour before the game starts, we'll do our pregame show, and we will set the scene, be live for the entire game, do a little postgame reaction as well. Make sure and join us. You will not want to miss it. Live right here on Seahawks Today. Seahawks and Dolphins. Subscribe now for free, and make sure to join us, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Let's tell you about today's sponsor. That is Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered. Game Time's got a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Nobody wants to do that. They have their super deals. Those are deals you're not going to want to miss. They got their seat views, so when you're picking out that seat at Lumen Field, you make sure you get the one you want, get the visual. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Let's talk Tyre Phillips now. Bleacher Report, in their weekly evaluation of every team in the NFL, of where they stand right now and what they should do to make their team better, has suggested that right now the best thing the Seahawks could do is sign free agent offensive tackle Tyre Phillips. Here's more from Matt Holder of Bleacher Report. Abraham Lucas is already on the shelf after beginning the year on the PUP list, and George Fant missed this week's game with an injury. So the Seahawks are getting pretty thin at right tackle. Picking up Phillips could help solve that issue, seeing as he recorded 9 starts at the position for the Giants last year. At this point, I'll take all the help we can get right now. I mean, Stone Forsythe has not looked very good filling in at the right tackle position. And we don't know when Abe's coming back. George Fant, hopefully he gets back sooner than later, but everything remains a mystery. I mean, you know, they're getting out the Scooby-Doo mystery machine or mystery, whatever the hell it's called, to try to figure out this offensive line, because it's just been a disaster from what we've seen from this group. And I'll say this, when it comes to Phillips, I mean, he took over last year. He beat out a former top 10 pick in Evan Neal, who was picked in the same draft as Charles Cross, actually ahead of Charles Cross, right? And he's okay. He's not bad, but he's okay. And I'm not looking for, the next great starting offensive tackle to fill in this spot right now. I'm not looking for Charles Cross 2.0. I just need somebody that can avoid my quarterback getting sacked 3 times and taking 7 hits in a game. Tyre Phillips might be the temporary solution you're potentially looking for here. We'll get to know Phillips more in just a second, but first, let's ask you, should the Seahawks sign Tyre Phillips? Type Y for yes, N for no. Let us know what you think. All right, more on Tyre Phillips, the 2020 third-round pick out of Mississippi State, previously playing for the Baltimore Ravens, the New York Football Giants, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Plenty of experience in his short time in the NFL. 44 career games played in 27 starts. And I mentioned Charles Cross. They actually played together at Mississippi State. So there is some familiarity there as far as that goes. His PFF grades, not great, but not bad. I mean, just meh. 52.7 overall grade in 2023. Pass block grade was better than the run block grade, 64.5. Run block grade of 40, and allowed 2 sacks. At the end of the day, this is something where it can't hurt you. It cannot hurt you bringing in Tyre Phillips. I hate to say it, but you come here because I'm honest with y'all. We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. It can't hurt. This offensive line is desperate. They look like one of the worst offensive lines in the league. I mean, Charles Cross has been fantastic, but everything else, literally everything else, even Connor Williams was bad on Sunday. And he was supposed to be the savior for this offensive line. So, yeah, if you want to bring Phillips in, by all means, go ahead. Why not? Do you believe in this offensive line? Do you really? Is it going to get better? I don't know. Let me know in the comments section. Type B for believe, D for don't. If you enjoyed today's show, still love that win over the Pats, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great day. We'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.